Hello everyone, Jak Syn here on behalf of TourFiend.com and Future Daze, and today it is another exciting episode of Artist Interviews. Today I am sitting with Max Wallis of Sofa King Vinyl. How you doing today, Max?
I'm doing awesome, man. How you doing? Thanks for having me. This is great.
I'm doing pretty good. I'm so glad you could be on today and we can get a chance to talk about some of the amazing stuff that you're doing over there. So what kind of a day is it for you? Is it pretty hot or whatever? I know we're kind of in the same general area, but where are you at right now?
Right now I'm in Thousand Oaks, and it's a bit hot. Some people consider it the valley, but at the edge of LA County, I don't know. It's weird. It's pretty brutal heat-wise being in Thousand Oaks. It's like the edge of Ventura County, and yeah, I'm used to being kind of closer by the beach, so it's usually like 20 degrees hotter over here, but it's all good.
Yeah, I totally know what you mean. I mean, I'm over here in the Cinder Hill, Long Beach area, so we kind of have that nice offshore, onshore breeze, what you would call it, on a nice day. But it seems like, as of lately, for the past few weeks, it's just been like crazy hot. I mean, it's been hot, yes, but I think what's been killing us the most is like this humidity, this like blanket of like sauna feeling around LA County.
Yeah, humidity sucks, and it's like really hard to sleep when it's hot. Like it's better for the body to like be in a cool environment. So being where I'm at, they built all those units without central air because it's near the beach, so they didn't anticipate the heat. So it's like it can get brutal.
Exactly. I know when I go to sleep sometimes I either have to have a fan on me or the air conditioner's got to be right next to me or else there's no happy medium there. I need to have at least something. But enough about the heat. We're going to talk about your awesome stuff that you have going on. So today we're going to ask you a couple of questions and see where it goes from here. Are you ready to get into it?
Yeah, I am definitely ready to get into it. I actually have a couple of records here by my side to show off if there's time. But yeah, let's jump into this, man.
So tell us about your company, Sofa King Vinyl.
Well, it is a passion project. I've been a vinyl consumer since I started consuming vinyl again back in December 2013, I believe it was, and I just dove headfirst into the audiophile world, and I noticed there were records that I wanted that were never pressed, didn't exist, or they were pressed and they sounded like crap because they were mastered improperly and they used the wrong audio source. And it's, even big name labels screw this up sometimes, and it really like started getting under my skin. I'm like, I gotta do something about it. So I had the initiative to start a record label, and the goal was audiophile approved, properly mastered, and something that vinyl consumers and purveyors of vinyl and people who know that vinyl sounds good, it will make them happy. They're not going to put it on and go, this sounds like garbage, this sounds like it was mastered in a garbage can, which is definitely disappointing. So long story short, it was my goal to create a label that vinyl consumers would be happy with, and I did not have any sort of like genre in mind. I listen to all sorts of music. I listen to metal, I listen to soul, I listen to blues, I listen to synthwave. And it just so happened that I connected with this synthwave vinyl collectors group on Facebook and started talking to fans and artists and connected with 2600. And that was the first vinyl release that we put out, was his album, The Cold Rise from Sleep, which was a crowd-funded release, and we started out crowdfunding, but we don't crowdfund anymore.
I mean, that's awesome that you took this, taking it on as a passion project and then building it into something larger. It's like so much bigger. And I know what you mean about like records and stuff like that. Like there is just a certain sound that you get with the record, like a vinyl record that you put on there, the crisp, the pops, the little nuances that you don't get on a CD or on a digital, format at all. And I mean, I think that's great. I mean, for everybody out there who's a collector of vinyl in any way, I'm sure this is a great addition, especially with you being able to do it in your area and get other artists, bring them in from all over the world to be able to press that stuff with you. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool thing. I've worked with great artists, and one thing I've noticed about the synthwave genre is that there aren't a lot of US based labels. A lot of them are based in like Europe and stuff. So it was cool to kind of like carve out my place on like the West Coast for being like a synthwave destination, because there's other labels, but none on the West Coast that I'm aware of that really focus on this style of music. And once I started listening to synthwave, I couldn't get enough. I dove head first. Personally, I'm more partial to stuff with vocals. So I'm hoping to make my label the destination for vocal synthwave, you know, in LA.
It's because of that love and that passion you have for this style of music that makes you a great addition to everything going on. And because now you can help a lot of these artists who want to appeal to a different medium, like being able to take another avenue that they haven't previously thought about. I mean, there's just something about having your music in a tangible format, like whether that's on cassette or CD, but vinyl, I think, is like that big thing where like you can kind of say like, hey, you can hang it on your wall and go, my blood, sweat, and tears went into this entire album and this record right here, and I can show this to anybody and show them, hey, my hard work is here in this disc for you to enjoy for years and years and years to come. That's just great that you're doing it here and that you are helping a lot of these artists along their journey as well.
I'm definitely doing my best. You know, we're a different beast in the label world because, you know, we don't release stuff on variety of formats. We don't do, you know, digital, cassette, mini disc, you know, all this stuff. You know, we do vinyl, and yeah, the digital's there on Bandcamp if you want it, but our focus is the vinyl. And some people say, you know, what are you doing? You're missing out on a lot of revenue here. And it's like, but dude, the artist got the digital handled. You know, why do I need to jump in and try and take a piece of that if it's not necessary? You know what I mean? You know, there's other labels that specialize in cassettes and mini discs, and they got that covered. Let them do that. I do the vinyl, and people trust me to do the vinyl, and that's what I'm proud of. There's been artists that have received a physical copy of the records that we've pressed, and they just broke into tears because they never imagined that when they were recording this album that it would be pressed to vinyl.
Isn't that funny how that works? It's like we are having this return to the love for physical copies, for tangible copies of things. Like I remember when I was younger and I held a record in my hand for the first time, I thought, oh my God, what is this thing? Like what is this whole thing about? And I can see where it is, you know, because it's a lot of the artists of today, like as a child, like they were exposed to a record in some way. And I think it's like that bringing back to their childhood in a way, you know, with a vinyl record. Yeah,
there's some of that, but I mean, now more than ever, the audio quality has really come through. I mean, back in the 70s and 80s, yeah, it was pretty normal to hear a lot of crackles and pops, and definitely if you're going through your parents' record collection, you're going to get that. But, you know, a properly played, clean record, it's going to sound like you're in the friggin' studio. I mean, that's the only way I can compare it, because it just brings you to a sonic level that you just can't get on any other format.
Yeah, I would imagine so. It's like I have a few records here at the house, and you know, we have a record player as well. It's like, do we use it all the time? No, but after hearing and talking to you about some of this stuff, now I feel like I want to go back to my record collection and pop some of these babies in and get back into that whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, get yourself a record cleaning kit and just make a day out of it, make it fun. You can't really invite friends over to do that right now, but if there's people in your home that want to participate, make a day out of it and clean your records and then play it and like, oh wow, and just go down memory lane. But records that come out today, some of them just sound phenomenal. There's pressings that I have that just, I close my eyes and I feel like I was there when they recorded it. I want to show this to you because I'm pretty proud of how this came out. This is West Coast Streams by the Motion Epic, and we currently have these available right now on our Bandcamp. And this is the first time we've done like a really pretty, for lack of a better term, a pretty like mixed color record. Because I mean, look at that.
Wow.
I've never I never thought I'd press records like this because I was from the old school, and I had this mentality that like it's got to be black vinyl. So like when we started the label and started doing those pressings, crowdfunding them, every pressing was black because I was convinced that for some reason black sounded better than color. And to be honest with you, man, I can't tell the difference. A properly pressed record is a properly pressed record, and whether it's colored or whether it's black, you're not going to be able to discern the difference between the two. Picture discs, that's another story, but
Yeah, and you know that is a beautiful looking record right there. So beautiful. I love the colors, and you know it's something to really be proud of. You know when you have it in your collection, you take it out, you go, oh my God, this is going to be a journey. This is going to be an experience. I mean, because that's one of the great things about records is that when you put a record on, you are there from start to finish. You are there from start to finish. There's no track skipping. There's no all that kind of other stuff. It's just one thing all the way through. You're on a journey all the way. And I try to encourage a lot of people, like especially when they buy albums and things like that, listen to the albums in their entirety because you will get a sense of what the artist wants to do and their journey that they want to take you on in their album.
definitely, it's an investment. You don't throw a record on to have background music. You don't throw a record on because you're bored. You throw a record on, oh, maybe you throw a record on because you're bored, but you throw it on because you want to connect with that artist and connect with that music. And you want to, you want to hold the album in your hands, and you want to go through the song names as the album's going through and go, oh, who was the special guest on that one? Oh, that's who plays saxophone, you know? You don't get that with digital. Liner notes are lost.
But also too, it's like it's a beautiful collector's item as well. I mean, it's like when we go back to like talking about like, you know, for me, you know, I liked collecting comic books when I was younger. So it's like now, like for a lot of people, it's like it's either, you know, it's comic books or it's like records or it's like cassettes or video, even videotapes now, you know, DVDs, whatever. People liked having that tangible thing they can hold in their hand and they can really feel the weight of it. You know, that beautiful, like the way that it smells, you know what I mean? Even the smell behind something like that has its own feeling, you know?
Yes, the smell, and everyone has their own little ritual. You know, I have a vacuum powered cleaning machine, so put it on there, and then I'll throw it on the platter, and then have my zero stat. And people say, dude, you go through all this work. Why don't you just stream it? I'm like, dude, if you listen to records, you understand.
That it's very true right there. If you listen to records, you will understand the process behind it all. And I know some people, it might seem foreign or weird to them, but this is how this was years and years and years ago. And it still translates today, but that was the thing. It was like you would invite your friends over and be like, hey, you want to listen to a record? I'm like, yeah, let's listen to a record. Let's go on a journey. And now I think we're, even though with everything going on in the world right now, you have to stay socially distant, but I think that we are seeing a return to that as we start to transition into the new normal. We're going to start seeing people come around and hanging out together and listening to records and, having drinks and whatnot and just kind of talking and really kind of enjoying the whole experience together as a group.
Definitely. Music is a uniting force. And when you have a group of people that like the same stuff, listening to the new album from their favorite artist for the first time, you can't buy that feeling.
No, you cannot buy that feeling. And that's why it's so important that we support these artists in whatever way that we can and support people like you who are making a difference with helping to get these artistic visions out to the world in this type of format. So thank you for doing this for us.
Oh, no problem at all. I'm glad to do it.
What are a few of your favorite moments from your career?
Well, recently, I guess this is going to be the official announcement. You heard it here first. I said something on the Facebook page privately, but I haven't put this out there in public yet, really. So you heard it here first on Tour Fiend with Jak Syn. I was able to get a vinyl release secured with Client Liaison. And I'm not sure if you know who they are, but they are Australian. They're signed to Warner Australia, and they are a fantastic synth pop band. And I've been trying to get a vinyl release secured for their debut EP from 2014, which never had, doesn't have a vinyl release. And persistence pays off, and I was able to make that happen. So that's being pressed right now. I'm waiting for test pressings. So Client Liaison self-titled EP with 2 bonus tracks is coming sometime in November, November or December. But I was like, when I saw that email, like when it finally all came together, I was jumping up and down. It was like 12:30 in the morning. I was just
That is awesome. That is awesome right there. That's what it's all about. Being able to work with artists from all around the world, helping to bridge those gaps, helping to bring their visions to fruition. And that's so great that you got that. And I'm sure for you, I mean, yeah, you were having that moment at like 12:30 in the morning, just getting all giddy, jumping around. I know for myself, if I had heard that kind of news, of course I'd be like jumping all over the place. Am I right?
Oh yeah, definitely. And it was weird because like I was asleep and I have a hard time sleeping all through the night. So I'll get up and I'll like check messages or something. And then like I check the messages and they're like, "You still interested in doing this?" And I was like, "Well, I can't go back to sleep now."
You definitely can't. Isn't that always the way it is? Like whenever you're waiting for something, it doesn't, great news or working with anybody, it always comes in the middle of the night for some reason. And then you go, okay, well now great. Now I can have a good night's sleep. You know what I mean? Because I gotta read the message. I gotta find out what's going on here. If you leave it till the morning, you're gonna spend the rest of your night wondering, oh my God, what did they say? What did they say? I gotta know. I gotta know.
Yeah, that was a good feeling. Another high point, I guess, would be we do these. We have a series of 7-inch singles called Synthy Sevens. We've done them so far with Diamond Field with Bob Harrell on vocals, Let 'Em Riot, and Glitter. There was a split with GlitterWølf and Palm Lakes, and we have another one with Teal, newly announced, coming out soon. But one thing that we do with these Synthy Sevens releases is, we do several colors, but we also do these really like limited, super cool, what we call wax mage pressings. And they are hand pressed, hand poured, hand formed, everything's by hand from a plant in Cleveland, Ohio. And, because of the process used to make them, we can only get so many. They won't do a full run of like, 300 copies or something. Like, we did, I think, runs of 10 because it's so limited. And we charged a premium for them and used that money to raise funds for Mental Health America. So we put some on Bandcamp and we put some on eBay. And 100% of the money generated all was donated to Mental Health America. And that's something that I'm proud of, because I think mental health is one of the most overlooked and underfunded aspects of our society, and I think that there isn't enough attention paid to it. So anything that I can do to kind of help move that forward, I'm very happy to do.
That is so awesome that you're helping to shed light on this subject, in any way that you can, using the things you have available to you. And you're right, it is important. Mental health is very important. I think especially now with everything happening, it's more important than ever. That's just great, because you are forging a path forward for people who feel like they're stuck and they can't get out of a certain area.
It's really close to home, the whole mental health thing, and I've known a lot of people that have gone through their battles and their ups and downs, and if you're somebody that battles with something, like anybody watching this, if you're depressed, suicidal, help is out there, and there's people that have gone through what you have gone through. You just gotta, the resources are out there. Just ask for the help.
I know what it's like to be around somebody who's dealing with a mental illness. It's you have good days and you have bad days. I think everybody suffers in some way, with something mentally, especially now with everything happening. It's important that we stand up and lend a hand to people in need right now. I know sometimes it can be difficult if you yourself are dealing with something, or if you have somebody in your family who is dealing with something. All you can do is just be there to listen, be there to help when you can. And you know what? Also understanding that things take time. They always do take time. And with any situation you're dealing with, especially with this, you have to have patience. So that everybody out there, if you are suffering, or you have somebody who is suffering anything mentally, you always have people to reach out to you. You have resources out there to help you and to help those around you who need it. So reach out, ask for help. You can get it. And, for you, Max, those pressings that you did, for the Synthy 7s, they are so beautiful. I've never seen something that looks like that before. And it's like almost translucent in a way. That's amazing.
Yeah. I got a couple other ones here. The first one I showed you was for the Let 'Em Riot one. This is from the Diamond Field Bob Harrow one. This one's not as pretty as the ones that were shipped out to customers. I kind of kept the ugly one, but and this is the one that we did for Palm Lakes and GlitterWølf.
Wow.
So yeah, sometimes they're translucent, sometimes they're opaque, but they use a bunch of colors, and you can only get them through one pressing plant. So you can probably research it if you want to find out who, but that's part of my secret sauce, so I'm not telling anybody right now.
I like how you put that on there, part of your secret sauce. You know what? Shh, we're not going to tell you any more than this. If you want to know more, you message Max himself. He knows you may be able to share your secret with you. No, thank you for sharing those with us. I mean, those are some beautiful records, and I'm looking forward to more that you guys have coming out from your company.
Yes, we have a teal Synthy 7s coming out. Don't hold me to it, but potential release date is possibly Friday the 13th of November. It all just kind of depends on how fast these can get pressed, because the one thing about vinyl pressing is it's volatile and nothing is set in stone. So many releases get pushed back, and they announce a pre-order date, and then, oh, it's coming out this date. Oh, got to push it back. Oh, sorry, 3 months later. So we try not to do pre-orders. Yes, hoping Friday the 13th of November for teal Synthy 7s. That's going to feature the song Bob Ross with a Depeche Mode cover on the B-side.
Well, that's awesome. I'll look forward to that for sure. I'll keep that on my radar. That's going to be pretty rad. What was the inspiration behind getting you into pressing vinyl, and what has your journey been like?
The desire to have stuff that didn't already exist in vinyl format, because I knew, being like a vinyl-centric label, I wasn't about to go after like artists and sign artists. I'm signing releases. I wanted to go after stuff that I wanted to spin myself that didn't already exist. And I was able to make that happen with 5-bolt main. Oh, that reminds me of a highlight of the label. I mean, for me personally, 5-bolt main was basically a side project of Chris Voltz, the singer from a band called Flaw. Flaw is much more popular, but 5-bolt main put out one studio album called Venting back in the 90s. And the curse of the 90s is it probably didn't get released on vinyl. If it did, it was in very limited numbers, and it cost you a fortune to get it. So it didn't exist on vinyl, and after some persistence, we were able to make it happen. And when I got that record in my hands, I was the one crying, because I wanted that on vinyl for a long time. So that was kind of like it was proof that my concept worked, because I wanted to release something on vinyl that didn't exist and have it sound good, and it happened. And I was like, wow. Because so many things before, I've just like, I'm sure everybody's, tried and failed at a lot of things, because not everybody can be successful at the first thing that they go after. So it was a good feeling to be able to have that happen and have the artist go, dude, great job. Having that confirmation from the artists instills in me that, like, I know what I'm doing, because I'm not a narcissist. I'm not full of myself. I don't have a giant ego, so I have a hard time going around telling everybody, yeah, I'm amazing, I'm the shit. Like, I'm not that kind of person. So to hear that coming from an artist saying, like, dude, you deserve all the accolades that you get because you know what you're doing and you're awesome. Thank you for what you do. Like that, I mean, that's almost why I do this, because it just makes me feel so good, because I look up to these people,
And that right there, you are a rock star in your own right. You are there creating these things for these artists to share their their artistic vision with the world. You are there to bring that into somebody's household, into their record collection, by creating vinyl and by bringing it back into the marketplace. By you doing what you do here, it is opening up all kinds of doors and all kinds of avenues for people that didn't have it before. Because now it's like, as an artist, it's not only the digital releases. It's not only like maybe a CD or a cassette. It is now a vinyl market for them. And I know tons of synthwave artists and, you know, tons of other electronic music artists and stuff like that who love that they can now have their stuff pressed on vinyl. And that is great because, like we were saying before, it's a visual representation of their artwork. And, you know, but being able to go back to artists that you've loved and like wondering, hey, did they ever have this on a record? You being able to like kind of go back to the past and go like, hey, listen, I'm going to take this out of the past. If you'll let me press it and give you something new that you can have and hold for your collection for years to come. And hopefully other people will enjoy it too. But I know that they will because you take the time and the care that a lot of other people kind of take for granted sometimes. I mean, with digital releases and like CDs and stuff like that, we kind of take it for granted, you know, because it's so easily accessible. But when you actually have something tangible like that, it elevates it to a whole other level.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, you can't go to an artist and say, hey, sign my digitally downloaded album, you know. It just doesn't work. So you want a nice big record jacket so you can go to the artist and go, here, sign this, you know. I mean, that's it. And then you get that home and you put it on your wall and you're like, man, I remember waiting to get that signature. It's just like, oh, there's such a feeling of fulfillment, you know.
Exactly. What is the smallest vinyl that you've ever pressed?
That would be these 7 inches. We're not going to the 3-inch world. That's that's for Record Store Day. That's their little shtick. Yeah, we're staying away from the 3 inches because I don't get it.
It's awesome. It's awesome. But you know, you're doing some amazing work over there, and thank you for really kind of pushing this to the forefront, because I think a lot of us now, we need it more than ever. We really do. We need creative people like you getting out there and sharing your creativity with the rest of the world, because you are an artist in your own right. You may not be the person creating the music, but you are the mouthpiece getting it out to the rest of the world too. You are there helping to bridge those gaps between the consumer and the artist with what you're putting out. So thank you for that.
You're quite welcome. You're quite welcome. If people keep buying them, we'll keep pressing them.
Damn right. You're damn right. And you know what? They will. They will definitely do, because you know what I've been seeing a lot for a lot of artists today is that when they come up with vinyl releases, when they talk about these pre-orders with vinyls, I'm like seeing these people like selling out of them within the first 24 hours. Like, people just love getting their hands on these things.
Yeah, that can definitely happen. Vinyl is a fickle mistress, you know. You're not really sure if the people are buying it because they're listening to it, because they intend on like maybe like selling it later. We call them flippers. Or you know, because it's just, you know, FOMO, fear of missing out, or wanting it simply because their friends have it. You know, there's so many things that play into it, but at the end of the day, you know, the cream always rises, and I think that, you know, whether it sells out in 24 hours or it sells out, you know, in 2 years, they eventually sell, and people are happy that they've finally found that on vinyl. I've had people message me that I'm like, dude, I've been trying to find this record, and you know, you came out with it 2 years ago, and you know, I just so happen to have like a few spare copies. I'm like, dude, here, normal retail price, you know, not $50, you know what I mean? And they're so appreciative, like, thanks for not raping my wallet.
Well, that's so awesome to hear, you know, like being able to do that for people. You know, it for somebody who's a collector and a lover of vinyl, you know, this is heaven for them. They can, because they have it now. They feel like their community is being listened to now because you're out there doing what you do.
I must admit, I'm not the, you know, the label's just one guy. You know, it's just me. So, you know, I don't have like a whole team of people helping me out with like marketing and promotion and stuff like that. And plus, there's real life as well. So it can definitely feel overwhelming at times, like, because you can't be everywhere at once. I guess I'm kind of somewhat envious of the labels that have that huge umbrella, if you will, of like a marketing team. Because when I come out with a record, it's like, because there's only so much that you can do as one person before you start to feel pushy. Synthwave labels and small labels like mine, we don't have the money to pay like PR firms and stuff like that. So basically what I'm getting at is this. If you're a fan and a music consumer, don't just assume that the label has it all figured out and is going to just sell everything out. If you feel inclined to tell your friends, tell your friends. There is a lot of power in social marketing. I can tell you till I'm blue in the face that this record sounds badass and this record sounds badass. But I own the company. I'm supposed to say that, right? So guys, if you like it, tell people that you like it because they're sick of hearing it from me.
You're right. Telling people, getting that information out there. To everybody out there, if you love what labels are doing, help get that information out to your friends. Like, share with your friends. Share it with the community. Share it in groups. Email people. However you can. Like, word of mouth. Tell friends. Get them involved in this kind of stuff. And it will help companies like this grow. It'll help labels like this grow. It'll help to bring the music to new audiences, bring what Max is doing here to new audiences. And that's for everybody. If you just take the time out of your day to lend a hand in any way that you can, it will really make amazing things happen. It really will. So everybody out there, do what you can to help spread the word. What are you looking forward to accomplishing the most moving forward?
It's either between having like a record store day release, like an actual full-on, like we have an official record store day release, or getting more like brick and mortar distribution. A lot of things are direct to fan these days, but people still go to record stores. Maybe not so much these days. It's a bit restricted, and record stores are few and far between depending on where you live. But it'd be cool to have like, have like a really strong artist to where we can press up like a couple thousand copies and get some distro and really like go all out. Because when pressing in small quantities, like 300 copies, whatever, it's a bit hard to get distribution, and it kind of doesn't really make a whole lot of sense because a lot of the stuff just it sells out online. Like you said, it sells out pretty quick when you got those small numbers. So it'd be cool to have a record that you could go to your local record store and most likely find it.
Yeah, right there, everybody. It's like those are attainable goals right there. They are very attainable goals, and that is what will help, propel things into the future. It's like do have a lot of people who still like to go to record stores. I know there's like people who like to go to like, record store days or like record swap meets and stuff like that and share their love of records with other record collectors as well. And, there's all different kinds of ways you can go with it. And I would love to see you guys get that, get brick and mortar stuff, because I think that would be great, like getting your stuff into as many record stores as it can be. I think that is just wonderful. To everybody out there, it's going to take you as a person to help make that happen. Share it. Share your love of this stuff. Get the word out. Tell your friends any way that you can, because that's what's going to help Sofa King Vinyl grow to its next thing. And also artists out there, to every artist out there who's watching this interview, if you want your stuff on vinyl and you want your stuff distributed to a different market through vinyl, hit up Max here because he's doing some amazing things with what he has going on.
I appreciate that, Jack. Thank you. Yeah, man. I'm happy to help in any way that I can, and if I won't press it myself, or if I'm not in a position to press it myself, I'll help out and say, hey, you should press with these guys, you should get your stuff mastered over here. I would never just like throw an artist to the wolves and like leave them to figure it out. You know, if I'm not able to personally like be hands-on with it, I'll arm them with the info that they need so that they can do it themselves.
And it's Max's love here, everybody. It's Max's love for this music, for all music and vinyl, that makes him one of the top guys to talk to about this stuff. So check him out. Check out everything that Max has going on. Check out Sofa King Vinyl because it's growing into some amazing places. What positive message would you give to the world out there?
Nothing is permanent. Things will pass. Like even permanent marker fades away eventually. Permanent marker will wash off if you draw it on yourself, right? So if you're dealing with something negative, don't dwell on the negative, because that negative is not going to be there forever unless you allow it to be. I binge watched Cobra Kai recently, and I really liked what Daniel LaRusso had to say, played by Ralph Macchio, when he said, when you have so much negativity up here, try and find the positive stuff and bring a balance. And that really spoke volumes with me, because I get in funks. I have dark days where I'm just like, dude, this shit fucking sucks. And it passes. So I guess what I'm saying is, don't beat yourself up over things that you can't control. Pandemics you can't control. Concerts will happen when they happen. You'll be able to hug your friends, when it happens. But think of those times where you were all together, When you want to be with your friends, just close your eyes. You can be with your friends. Nothing's permanent.
Exactly right. Right here from Max, everybody. Wise words. You're right. Whenever you feel in those dark spaces, whenever you feel like you're in those moments, close your eyes. Find the happiness. Find the hope. Find your friends. Remember those times, because they will come again. When things are safer to do, it'll all happen. It'll happen in a big way. It really will. Friends will hug each other again. People will be connected again in person. We're going to be able to go to some amazing places. And the one amazing thing that is happening even through all of this darkness right now is that we as human beings are finding amazing ways to be as creative as we can be. And we are finding new things and rediscovering who we are inside as people through all of this. And you will have your dark days. You will have your days that feel heavy. But you will have amazing days as well. Days that make you feel lighter. Days that are beautiful and warm and full of light. Nothing is permanent. Nothing is permanent. And we can always, when we wake up in the morning, have the kind of day that we want to have when we put our minds to it. That right there is what's important. So everybody out there, try to make every day as best as it can be. Stay positive, stay safe, and keep loving. So thank you so much for taking this time to do this amazing interview today, Max. Thank you to everybody out there who took the time to tune in and watch us have this conversation. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe to our Torfing YouTube channel, as we have many more awesome artist interviews on the way, just like this one with Max here from Sofa King Vinyl. Thank you so much, Max, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon.
Look forward to being back, man. Thanks for doing what you do. This is awesome. Artists need a voice.
You're definitely right. And thank you for all the hard work you're doing with Sofa King Vinyl. To everybody out there, check out Max's amazing stuff. Check out his company, Sofa King Vinyl. Check out all the amazing things that they have, all the new releases that they're going to be coming out with very, very soon. And to artists out there, if you are looking to get your stuff on vinyl, check out Sofa King. Thank you guys so much. Remember, dream it, build it, and let it grow.